Hey guys, it's Charlie, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that happened to me last week that was completely unexpected. For those of you who know or haven't known or whatever you want to call it, I have lived in Korea a total of 2 years. And these 2 years in itself have been a big learning experience. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned so much about other people. And even in between Korea, I lived in Mexico for 1 year, where I continued to learn about myself and about other people. Before traveling, I had never considered myself an emotional person. I maybe cried in front of someone, a group of friends, once, and never would I have thought that I would cry in front of someone on camera or just in person while abroad. But these things happen, and when we live abroad, we learn about ourselves. And when I moved, I wanted to break every idea that I had and kind of question it. And when I moved abroad, I decided that I'm going to improve myself and better myself. And ever since I moved, it's been a journey ever since. And one of those things that was one of my weaknesses is that I would not cry in front of someone else. I would hold my feelings in, and I did get into some destructive habits that caused or were a result of me holding in my emotions. But moving abroad, I wanted to kind of let myself be who I am and grow a little bit more into myself, and one of those things has been allowing myself to cry when I want to cry and be happy when I want to be happy. And you guys have seen some of my weaker moments on video. So what I'm going to show you now is something that happened to me last week on Wednesday that I did not know would bring up an emotional reaction, but it did, so I want to share it with you guys. I whipped my camera out as soon as I could because I myself was shocked at my reaction, and I just wanted to get it on video because I still to this day am still shocked at my reaction, but in the same way I can tell that it was a growing experience for me and just another way that I'm learning about myself as a compassionate human being. So let's take a look at what happened. Hey guys, it's Charlie, and I haven't made one of these videos in a long time, but I just like broke down right now, started crying, and I'm at work. Today is sports day, and I don't know, right now, I'm supposed to be out here outside. I'm supposed to be out here like doing sports with the school, but I just like found out like what one of the games is, and I just broke down and had to walk away into my classroom to cry because the game that they're playing right now is where they take fish and they transfer the fish from one bucket and then run to the other bucket, and then it's just really sad to me that people would interfere with animals' lives. I know it probably seems like really trivial to you guys, like especially if you eat fish, but like I don't know, I think I just had like a real life
realization, you know, because when you don't have to see it, you don't have to think about it, you can be blind to it, but just not even seeing it, just hearing about it made me think like they just want to live their lives too, and like it's really sad. Because people don't think about fish, they don't think about them like they think about dogs or cats or any other animal, and it just really hit home to me today. I'm gonna stop now. I just feel really bad because it's not necessary. So I had calmed down for a second, and then well, after I filmed the last clip, right when I shut the video off, I turned around and the nurse was standing behind me. She had just walked out of the school. I just burst into tears again. And she took me up to her office, and she calmed me down and like gave me tissue, and like she thought that something had happened because she didn't get to talk to me. She just turned around and saw me just bursting into tears, and she thought something happened to my family, like either I missed my mom or something happened to my family or something, and she was worried, and I told her no, it's just I really care about animals, and I understand that you know, some people feel like they have to eat animals for their health, or it's a cultural thing, and even in the US we eat animals, we eat fish, or people eat fish, people eat fish everywhere. It's the idea for me of necessity. These fish are being shaken up. I just saw a fish being dropped on the ground, and these fish are in shock. They don't know what's going on. They're being pulled out of their element. They live in water, and a game like this isn't necessary. It's purely for fun, and it's traumatizing these fish. Some of them are going to die for no reason, and it's really it was really shocking to me. I've never been fishing, and even people who fish and throw the fish back into the water, they're just taking this fish out of its element, shaking it up and traumatizing it and throwing it back into the water. To me, even if all the fish survived, it's just sad because it's not necessary. They deserve just as much as we do to live peacefully without traumatization. So I'm gonna let that be right now. They told me, well, after she took me to the office and I calmed down, we walked back outside together. I explained to her that it's not really a difference in culture, it's just that I'm different because of the way I think and the way I see animals, and that it's not, I don't want her to think that it's just culture difference, because my whole family eats meat, my friends eat meat. I only have my best friend who is a vegetarian, and you know, it's not a difference in culture, it's a difference in like the way I see animals, the way I view animals. So I just want her to know that. But also I view differences in just eating meat compared to throwing fish around, and it's really sad for me. So they just finished playing, so they're coming back in. I'm sure someone's gonna come check on me right now, probably. So I'm gonna try and pull myself together so that I can accurately explain why I am like this. I don't want them to think that I don't like working here or that I think Koreans are bad or anything, because it's not a Korean thing. It's a human thing. It's a being thing. It's not about culture. So yeah, so many emotions all at once. I did not know how to handle myself, and I did not, if you would have told me a year ago that that would be my reaction, I probably would be like, no way. I'm really shocked at my reaction because most people in general don't have a big connection to fish, and they see fish as some other creature that has no feelings, and you know, if we mistreated an animal like a dog, we would get a much more of a response. In reality, I never realized that my reaction would be this way to fish, and I realize now that my veganism is even deeper than I thought it was, because before I never really cared about fish as much. I don't eat fish. I haven't eaten fish since I became a vegetarian. I don't care what people call themselves. I just never realized that I would have an emotional response to fish. And, you know, thinking now, looking at the situation, I'm realizing that I've grown into an even more compassionate person, because I probably never would have had a response like this maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. I do care about animals, and I always have cared about animals, but I think I'm becoming more aware of their feelings, and how if that was me, I would be in pain. And I'm able to see a lot of different perspectives. I can see how I was traumatized by this experience, and how before, if you would have told me the story of the game, I probably would have been like, oh, that's a sucky game for the fish. But being there, living the experience, is a whole nother story, and I can see how I was traumatized by seeing what was going on. A lot of people say, oh, I don't care about eating meat because, you know, it's natural, but in reality, we're paying people to kill for our food, when in actuality, most people would not on a daily basis kill for meat or kill for seafood. I think most people probably would kill more seafood than, like, for example, a chicken every day. A lot of people eat chicken almost every day, or any other kind of cow or lamb or dog or cat. And people tell me, like, oh, you live in Korea where they eat dogs, and for me it's not so much eating them, because I understand the aspect that people think they need meat to survive, and I can understand, even though I'm a vegan and I don't think it's necessary to eat meat, I understand the other perspective of people really growing up believing that you need meat to survive. And for me, it's not the aspect of consuming animals, it's using animals for entertainment. I do believe that if you need meat to survive, if I'm on a desert island and I need to kill for food, I'm going to kill for food, because I'm an animal myself, and it's in my nature to find the best way to survive. And I'm going to do whatever I can do to survive. So eating meat for survival is natural. It's in our nature. But using animals for entertainment and laughs and fun is not necessary. It is not for survival. And that was when it hit me while watching them
play with these fish, it hit me that this is not for fun. This is lives here. These are lives that are unnecessarily being killed. And on Monday this week, I found out by one of my students that all of these fish who were being played with in this game they died. They died. I even saw, looking out my window, one of the fish being dropped by the student. And of course, the student's not purposely dropping the fish, but that's what happens when you're playing around with wobbly animals. And all of the fish died. One of my students told me, and she told me, I heard you cried, or she said, I heard you were crazy. And I told her, yes, I really care about animals, and it's just really hard for me to see animals die unnecessarily. And so one other teacher came in and told me that she also thought that the game was not necessary. It wasn't educational. At that point, it was the next week, and I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I am glad that I was able to show my emotion, because I think I allowed the school to think of it in a different light, in a way that they had never thought of it before. And it's not that I'm trying to change anyone's opinion. I was just really trying to allow myself to go through that traumatizing experience and just get through it, because I didn't know, even for myself, that that was going to be my experience or my reaction. So in that moment, I didn't care to convert anybody. I don't care to convert people. I just wanted to, in that moment, allow myself to go through that, because I was actually really proud of myself, because I got to see how compassionate I am for something, a creature that people overlook and forget about. So I am still shocked that I went through that I was so traumatized, because I really had no idea that that would be my reaction. But in reality, it's one of those processes, and this time in my life right now has been a big molding and understanding myself and kind of purifying who I am. And I needed that experience to really realize that the direction that I'm headed in my life is really like who I am and where I'm supposed to be, because it's almost been a year that I've been vegan, maybe 2 more months. I've been going through a lot of transitions, in the last year. And there are a lot of things that I want to talk to you guys about, personal things, not only with veganism and going high raw, but also my personal life, like dating and bisexuality and sex and things like that, because I know a lot of you guys are curious, and I'm a very open person, and I do want to talk a lot more on a personal level to you guys, and not so much, I do want to show you my life and things that I'm doing, but at the same time, I also want to show you guys these very personal ideas and thoughts and things like that, because I think it's really a part of who I am. I'm an open person, and I don't mind sharing these things with you guys. So that is my traumatic experience, and realizing that I really am going in the right direction of veganism. A year ago, I would have probably not have realized that I would be a vegan, and I tried going vegan about 3 times before this time that it stuck, and now it's a for sure thing. I can't go back. Whether it's raw, high raw, I don't care what it is. I don't care what you are. As long as you are trying your best to eliminate as much suffering in this world as possible, I think you're headed in the right direction. And right now my focus definitely is myself and not so much other people. I'm just taking you guys along for the ride and showing you guys what I'm going through. So yeah, it's been crazy. I have a lot of learning and growing to continue doing, and I'm really happy that, you know, coming to Korea was the thing that sparked a lot of change in me, and some people might think it's bad change because I've changed so much, but I don't think I really changed. I think I really grew into myself a lot more, because I was in denial. I didn't want to admit that I wanted to be a vegan. I was in denial because I thought it was some type of faraway goal and that I would never attain it or reach it. And I tried 3 times before and it was never something that stuck. And now I did it the same way I went vegetarian, which was gradually. I didn't just, hop into it. I flowed into it, and I really am proud of myself because I really see how I've grown into myself. A lot of people have always considered me a confident person, and I am, but I can see how learning who I really am and growing into that has made me even more comfortable with myself. I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm bisexual. I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm a vegan. I'm not afraid to, tell people who I really am and not care, because the more you are who you are and accept it, other people have no choice but to accept it as well. They have no choice because you know who you are.